New startup called Panthalassa is floating in the middle of the Pacific Ocean, completely powered by the crashing of the waves. Just raised a staggering $140 million from billionaire tech icons like Peter Thiel and Mark Benioff. Their mission? To move the exploding brain of AI computing to the open sea. But here's the catch. Almost the entire structure is completely hidden underwater, surviving the harshest marine environments on Earth. To understand why anyone would build a multi-million dollar server farm in the middle of the ocean, we have to look at the massive bottleneck happening on the land. Right now, AI's hunger for power is exploding. According to the data from the International Energy Agencies, AI and data centers are projected to consume 30% more energy year over year, enough for 100,000 homes. By 2030, they are on the track to gobble up 3% of the entire world's electricity. And that's like doubling in a few years. And water? These things are thirsty. US data centers consumed around 17 billion gallons directly in the recent years, with the projections skyrocketing to tens of billions more as AI ramps up. Each AI query can indirectly use hundreds of milliliters of water for cooling and power generation. Land permitting, grid connections, local oppositions, companies are desperate for solutions that don't bankrupt utilities or drain rivers. We are running out of land, running out of power, and running out of fresh water. And that is where Panthalassa's crazy genius comes into play. Panthalassa, an Oregon based company founded around 2016, by moving offshore, they instantly wipe out both the problems at once. The ocean provides unlimited free supercooling, and the wave provides absolutely unlimited power. So, how does this actually work? Now, when you look at their Ocean Series node, it looks like a bit like a giant steel lollipop. You have a buoyant spherical head at the surface and a massive submerged vertical tube. When an ocean swell passes, the node bobs up and down, and this relative motion induces oscillation within the tube, essentially driving seawater up and down like a giant piston. That spinning turbine generates 100% clean and continuous electricity on the spot. That oscillation flow is channeled through a high pressure jet into an internal turbine, spinning it to create electricity before the water is recirculated. So it runs 24/7 because the ocean never stops moving. But here's the real engineering marvel. There are no engines, no hinges, and no complex gearboxes. Why does that matter? Because the salt water destroys moving parts. By eliminating mechanical complexity and utilizing a closed hydraulic loop, Panthalassa has built a machine that can survive out at sea for extended periods. Even crazier, these vessels are fully autonomous. They don't even need a towboat to get to their final destination. They can actually drive themselves out to the deep water using the unique hydrodynamic shape of their hull to propel themselves through the waves without a traditional motor. Okay, so it has power, it has cooling, but how do you actually use an AI that's floating 500 miles out at sea? Well, historically, ocean tech projects failed because running undersea data cables back to the land cost billions of dollars. Panthalassa completely bypassed this. Once deployed, these nodes connect to the internet through SpaceX Starlink satellite network, and this makes them completely untethered. And this setup is completely optimized for what engineers call AI inference, the day-to-day processing of AI queries. You send your prompt up to the satellite network, and the floating ocean node process the math using its wave-powered supercomputer, and the answer is beamed right back to your device. And because they can operate in deep remote ocean territories far from any coast, they avoid local grid politics, zoning laws, and the NIMBY, not in my backyard resistance. According to the early estimates, these nodes could drop the cost of clean AI computing power to as low as 2 cents per kilowatt hour. That completely undercuts almost every major land-based grid on Earth, and the market is actually buying in. With a valuation of reportedly nearing $1 billion, the company has already validated their tech with their early prototypes off the coast of Washington state, and now they are gearing up to deploy their Ocean 3 pilot nodes into the harsh, energy-dense waters of the northern Pacific Ocean this year, preparing for the full commercial deployment by 2027. Tech companies are projected to spend roughly $750 billion on data center infrastructure this year alone. The desperation for power is driving companies to extreme lengths, from Meta trying to beam solar energy down from space to Microsoft backing the restart of terrestrial nuclear power plants. But Panthalassa's ocean frontier seems much closer to the reality. Of course, it's not going to be easy, facing Category 5 hurricanes, biological ocean buildup, and complex international maritime laws will be a massive hurdle. But a team comprised of former rocket scientists from SpaceX, Blue Origin, and NASA, they have the brain power to pull it off. The open ocean might just be the next Silicon Valley, and it's going to be an ultimate wildcard to keep the AI revolution moving forward. What do you think? Could this floating wave powered data center solve AI's energy crisis? Let me know in the comments below. If you want to stay ahead with such latest and wildest updates, make sure to hit that subscribe button, like this video, and turn on notifications. And I will see you in the next video.